Welcome to Healing from Head to Toe, also known as Grab a Chair, Healing Anywhere. This is a powerful energy healing session performed using only a kitchen chair. No massage table or expensive equipment is required, and it can be performed anywhere as long as you have a chair. It's a technique that will give you a professional look and a polished look to your energy work, and it's very simple to do. If you prefer to do it on a massage table and you have one available, that's perfectly fine, but all you really need is a kitchen chair. And a kitchen chair is best, not a recliner chair or a rocker chair, just a plain chair with no arms on it, a flat seat, and slats in the back. And as we do this, we're going to go from head to toe on the client. We're not going to do any specific healing. We're just going to get a feeling for what's going on in the patient's body. So you stand behind your client, and you take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And this is a time where you protect yourself, call in your angels, whatever ritual you do before you do your healing. This is the time that you do it. Then you gently tap your client on the shoulders and tell them that you're going to tap them on the shoulders when they begin, and when the treatment's over, you'll tap them on the shoulders again so they know that it's over. It's a courtesy to the client, and it's very handy for them to know when they can move and when they cannot move. So we're going to go through the body, and as you go through the body, if you notice anything, if you're a seer, you see a spot that's not right, or you feel static in a part of the body that's shouldn't be there, hot or cold, however it is you perceive the energy field, as you go through the body, you're going to notice these spots of imbalance. Just take a mental note of it and come back to it later. We have to go through the whole body first. So begin by putting the base of your fingertips on your client's head, one hand just in front of the other, parallel to each other, and let the energy flow. Be it Reiki, quantum touch, angel touch, whatever you do, just let the energy flow. And as you're doing it, you sense if there's anything from the client that's imbalanced or out of line there. Take a close look at the hand position on the head. Now you just twist your hand slightly so that the palm of your hand, each one is on a temple. Let the energy flow from hand to hand. And just sense what's going on in that part of the body. When you've got it, just tip your hand slightly so that your palms are on the mandible, the jaw. And let the energy flow. Sense if there's anything going on there. Okay. Next, you do the rest of the client's head. You would put your hand under the chin and on the top of the head, and let the energy flow, sensing what's going on there. Just let it flow. Then you conclude the head by putting one hand on the forehead and one hand on the back of the head immediately behind it, and let the energy flow. Now in your mind's eye, you can see your client as a puppet with a jointed puppet, and we're just going to touch on the joints. So start by putting one hand on each shoulder while you're still standing behind your client, and let the energy flow. Now move to one side. It doesn't matter right or left, whichever you prefer. And we'll go through the joints. put one hand on the shoulder and one on the elbow. Let the energy flow. Now put one hand on the elbow and one on the wrist. Let the energy flow. And then you can either put one hand on the wrist and one on the end of the fingers, or you can place your whole hand on top of your client's hand. Let the energy flow. And then you can flip your client's hand. Each hand has a chakra in it, and we want to make sure that they're open. So you'll rub the very middle of the palm with your thumb or your index finger. Just massage it in a circular motion for 5 or 6 times, unless you intuit more. And then gently put their hand down. And then you'll ask your client to stand up and away from the chair, and you'll put your hands on their iliac crest, their hip bones. Let the energy flow. Often one hip bone is higher than the other. This is to be expected, not to worry about it. And then you'll put one hand at the base of the neck and one at the base of the spine. Let the energy flow through the whole spine. Then your client will sit down again, and you'll go to the joint points. On the same side you were working on, put one hand on the hip and one on the knee. Let the energy flow. Note the client sitting again with her feet flat on the floor, legs are not crossed in either of the hands. The next step is to go from the ankle to the tip of the toes. One hand on the ankle and one on the tip of the toes. If your patient is ticklish, this point gets to be a little bit awkward. So try to be as matter of fact as you can about it. Then you'll support the ankle with one hand and massage the chakra that's in the middle arch of the foot and the sole. Massage it in a circular motion 6 times to make sure that it's open. And then you'll put the foot back on the floor. And you move to the other side, working your way from top to bottom, on the one side and bottom to top on the second side. So you'll take your patient's foot and open the massage, the chakra so it's open. Then you'll put one hand on the ankle and one on the tips of the toes. And then one on the ankle and one on the knee. Let the energy flow. Then one on the knee and one on the hip. And you just have the arm left to do. So you take the hand that hasn't been done yet, massage the chakra in the very center of the palm, make sure it's nice and loose in there. And your hand on her hand, or his hand. Let the energy flow. Then your hand on the wrist and the elbow, and then on the elbow and the shoulder. And you can see that you've done the whole body. You've had a chance to have an overview, see if you noticed anything. You asked your patient or your client if there's any particular spots that they wanted you to work on. Remembering in the back of your mind if you noticed any spots, heavy spots or anything that shouldn't have been there. And then you'll perform your healing practice, whether it be angel touch or Reiki or quantum touch, whatever it is you do it at this time. And then when you're finished, you close by touching them gently on the shoulders and telling them that it's done. You'll notice that the healer in this picture was wearing white and barefoot. The best healers always wear white so that it's easier for you to see auras and chakras, and working with color and light if you're a plain easel or a plain background, a plain backdrop to see the colors on. And if you're barefoot, you can ground a lot better, reach the grounding chakra, which is the liver of the chakra system, and gets rid of all the negative energies. So you'll see that quite often. I'd like to also introduce you to the keeping a healer's log. For a few reasons. One is that many modalities require you to have 100 hours of logged healing in order for certification. So in the event that you'd ever want another certification, you've got a good start on it. That's one reason. Another reason is it's just a good thing for you. A healer's log is a record of the data that you collect during your healing session. It's a self-assessment tool to increase your awareness of how the healing process works and how it works through you, and it can increase your effectiveness as a healer. Using the example above, the first column you put your client's initials in. You don't put the full name in for privacy's sake. Then you put in the second column, you put the area treated, the knee, the arm, the body, whatever body part it was. The third column, you put the level of pain, 1 being high and 10 being low, or 1 being low and 10 being high, whatever system you use, as long as it's consistent and you know what you're doing. And you ask your patient before you begin, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the pain or the discomfort that you've come to see me about? And next column, you'll write in what treatment method you used. You may have used just practical Reiki, or you may have used Reiki and Chias, or if you used a combo, put it in. You also should put at this point whether it was in a chair or on a massage table, if the massage table had a biomat or anything like that, or if you played any particular music or used stones, put that in there as well. And then when your session is over, you ask the client again, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would they have described the area that you treated for pain or discomfort. Hopefully this will be a regular client, and in a week's time or a week and a half time at their next visit, you can ask the same question: what is the pain level or the level of discomfort on a scale of 1 to 10? That you can't always fill this column in because sometimes it's a one-time client, or you've done it at a fair or an expo, so sometimes that's not possible. The next column you mark down whether it's local or distance. Many modalities that require you to have a healing log will let you do 10% distant healing, but the rest has to be local. And local can usually be on adults or children or even animals and pets. Write down the location in the next column. Was it at your home, at their home, at a shop, or at an expo? And then you write down the length of the session and keep a running total so you know how many minutes that you've done. Keep the record for about a month without bothering to look at it. Then stop, take a look, and see if you notice any patterns. Perhaps most of your clients are coming to you for ear problems, or rashes, or bones. Perhaps you find a pattern showing that practical Reiki is great for stress and eyes, but quantum touch is better for the bones. Or maybe you'll see that you're having success with joints, but you haven't found anything that works on the muscles. Or maybe a pattern showing different modalities are more effective for reducing stress in adults and children and animals. You might see that your distance healing is stronger than you thought. There are no right or wrong answers. This is your own personal journey of discovery. Your results will differ from everyone else's. It's a great way to make sure you are aware on your healing path.